Hello everybody, just very quickly before we dive into the main news. Now we did report this as a combination of the GTA 6's shifting release dates alongside David Hayter's tweet, which in the time of recording to then that being edited, David Hayter has now posted again saying to avoid an internet incident, he was only suggesting the idea of Toronto being a location for GTA 6 or that he had any involvement whatsoever. It's not like us to run with, a legendary voice actor putting up a tweet and, people assuming things. There's hundreds and thousands of comments already doing the rounds online as to what that might have meant, but not to worry. The main news here is about GTA 6's changing release date, but you can also enjoy, me and Josh just in retrospect being two absolute maniacs thinking that Solid Snake might be joining GTA. So have fun with that and on with the show. Hello everybody, welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Scott, joined by Josh.
Hello Scott.
Josh fam, GTA 6 news is a brewing. Let's dive right in. So industry analyst Daniel Ahmed recently put up on Twitter a whole bunch of details from Take-Two's managerial reports, talking about their fiscal year and what they had planned for the rest of this year in 2021. Now the fiscal window is April 2020 to March 2021. And they detailed all the stuff that's coming for the rest of this year, referring to it as a light new release year, which already kind of hints at the whole GTA thing. But they mentioned, the Bioshock collection on Switch. They've got a Borderlands collection coming on Switch. There's Outer Worlds coming on Switch. There's NBA 2K21, WWE Battlegrounds, the Mafia remaster, and a couple of other things like a Sid Meier's game or whatever. None of them are GTA 6. He then says, or part of the report rather, was them saying that they have the strongest development pipeline in Take-Two history, with an array of titles set to launch in fiscal 2022, which puts it directly after March 2021. So I guess immediately we can get onto this David Hayter thing in a second, but what do you think of waiting even that much longer for GTA 6?
Yeah, at this point, it's going to be done when it's done, isn't it? We keep getting reports about, it's 60% finished. It's going to be out in 2024. It's going to be out in 2021. As long as I think they get it out before the 10-year mark, it'll be all right. We waited 9 years for Red Dead Redemption 2, and obviously GTA is bigger. So I think they only start taking the piss with it when it's beyond a decade. And from the other rumors that have been leaking over the past few months or whatever, they seem to be building a platform for content. And I hate saying that. I hate referring to GTA as a platform for content, but it is. Is it? All the leaks point towards them making GTA 6 a kind of built to last another 10 years. So that would make about sense for me. So yeah, 2021 at the earliest isn't surprising considering how little we've seen and how well GTA 5 has been doing.
Do you remember when we thought GTA 6 was just going to be revealed on an afternoon? And, I mean, not just us. There was a whole Reddit thread. There was a whole social movement because of one rumor that morning.
I felt like I was going stir crazy because everything felt like it made sense that day. I knew it probably wouldn't happen. We mentioned that in the video, but obviously it sounded like it was going to. But yeah, we haven't since then. The GTA stuff has been quite quiet. So this and the David Hayter thing, which blew my mind this morning, has kind of thrown it back up. But yeah, I can't think of what else they would mean by their other big franchises. I can't think of what else they would have ready to go. Maybe another Borderlands, but when you use those words, you have to assume it's Rockstar stuff.
Well, there is meant to be another Bioshock that's been in development for years now. Kotaku leaked it years ago, but they're referring to the strongest development pipeline ever. They mentioned new IPs as well, but all of that stuff is set for fiscal 2021, which means it goes into 2022. David Hayter, though, my friend David Hayter, popped up on Twitter not a few hours ago, just tweeting two hashtags. One was GTA 6, and the other was Toronto. So I don't know what that is, to be honest. What were your initial thoughts?
Well, my initial thoughts were, I'm half asleep for one, just checking Twitter in the morning, looking for news. And then because I followed David Hayter, and I just kind of saw it and was thinking, what? And I was going through the replies, trying to get to the bottom of what it meant and what this cryptic thing meant. And I do have a few guesses, because obviously he's not elaborated on it. He's just dropped that little bombshell in there, the first official thing we've heard from anyone talking about it. I don't know whether it's just a joke. Because he's from Canada, he's from Toronto, I think he lives there. Is he just kind of joking with us, saying that, I love GTA 6 being in Toronto? Or has he seen or learned something that indicates that it's going to be there?
He knows what this is going to do. Tweeting something like this is going to result in people going, David, I mean, it's not like he's not a legendary voice actor.
That's it, yeah. It's not like he's not a legendary voice actor who has a large following on Twitter. You do something like this, you do it so cryptically, then it gets people like me and you talking about it and making videos about it. So I don't know whether that means it's going to be set in Canada. I don't know whether that's going to be part of it. I don't know what's going on, Scott.
I guess we should talk about, because the thing is with David Hayter, like obviously he was in, the last Metal Gear he was in was like Peace Walker or something. Wasn't in Metal Gear Solid 5, went back to doing more script writing stuff. He's reprised the role of Snake a couple of times in like Bomberman and My Birthday Message. And apart from that, he hasn't really done that much stuff. So if he's going to return to voice acting, like that's a big deal for him. But also on Rockstar's side, like they made a whole move away from celebrity voice actors or recognizable voice actors back with GTA 4, because they said that you end up just hearing the voice and not the new character, which that seems totally anathema to why you would cast David Hayter, because I mean I know he can do a variety of voices, but the main one you get David Hayter for is Solid Snake, or it's like a gruff voice, which is quite close to his actual voice now as well. If say this is true, what do you think of a GTA with ostensibly a Solid Snake type man in it?
That would be weird. That would be very strange. But I can see them kind of sending up that kind of, like gruff hero. You know what I mean? GTA is all about satire. It's all about taking down these established tropes. So if you get one of the most iconic hard men voices in the entire video game canon and kind of get him to take the mick out of himself, that would be really fun. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't buy for a second that he's actually in the game. I don't think anyone gets a role in GTA 6 and then immediately tweets it out. Imagine the iron fist of bloody Rockstar coming down on you after that. Like that would be a crazy thing to do, but I would be here for it. And I do love David Hayter, your friend David Hayter, so
I can't think what else would be. Why the hell else you would tweet this? It's probably something really simple. Like you said, he lives in Toronto and he's maybe just seen some sort of casting call or something in the area, and that's why he's doing it. But like I said, he has to know why this, like putting a tweet out like this is only going to result in 1 million videos, probably way more confirmed sounding than the title that we'll end up going with. But like, it's going to be a big thing. It's going to start like this conversation around it. He's going to become the center of it. And he's not someone who would randomly stir up this. I don't think he's, randomly wanting attention. So it's just, I hope that it means something more. Alongside that though, what do you think of a potential GTA that isn't set in America? Like you said, it's got so much of this like pastiche, like black comedy approach to it, all this satirical stuff. If they did set one in Canada, I wonder if that's just one of the ways forward. Like you keep a lot of the Westernisms that make GTA, but you can then lampoon the sort of stereotypical, overly nice Canadian tropes instead. Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to show my ignorance right now because I don't know much of anything about Canada. I've never been there. The only media I consume is TV shows that are shot in Vancouver, but they just double for America anyway. So it would be interesting to see them kind of move away from like the core of America itself, because they've always said that GTA is an American series. When people talk about taking it to London or whatever, they say, well, that would be good, but it wouldn't necessarily be Grand Theft Auto, because it's so much of its DNA is in, like we've been saying, satirizing, like the American dream or, American tropes, American culture, stuff like that, which is weird considering that it's kind of led by two British dudes. But I think this, Scottish, sorry. Well, British, I think it would, moving it to Canada, or at least partially moving it to Canada, would be, I've always wanted to see GTA break out, and I don't think they would just put it in Canada without, feeding back into cities that they've already established, because the idea is they're going to make this kind of one super city thing where you have links between Vice City or Liberty City or whatever. So for me, that would be a cool way to kind of add something new while still retaining the kind of central setting that we expect. Because for me, as much as I love those iconic GTA settings, I'm kind of sick of them. You know what I mean? I don't need another version of Liberty City or San Andreas. I could probably go for Vice City, but I wouldn't want it to be the whole game. Even if that's what they did next. As much as I would love it, I would be like, come on, there's other things you can do, especially if we're going to have to wait, 10 more years for another game.
It's true. I mean, the thing is, if you've grown up with GTA, if you've been there since the beginning, then you've seen Rockstar sort of roll out this initial set of cities like Liberty, Vice, San Andreas, and then revisit them in 3D, then revisit them in HD. And it is that thing where like, the only one that exists alongside those sort of iconic cities is the London stuff, which they've said they don't really want to devote that many assets to doing a big AAA GTA 5 size London. So for me, like you said with Vice City, that's kind of the last one. That's the last thing that ties off that mentality that they started like almost, I guess, 20 plus years ago. You do your big blockbuster version of Vice City, and then you eventually move on to something else, whether that's taking GTA out of America or whatever it is. But yeah, if this stuff was true, and again, we're not even, I just think that it's a hashtag. We're not running with it that much, but if it somehow is a GTA set in Canada or somewhere other than America, that means that the next GTA wouldn't be Vice City, which I think would be I think that'd be the wrong way to go based on how much stuff's being amped up at the minute. I mean, like, yeah, do you kind of agree the same thing that they do one last one that fits in that mold and then do something else?
It depends how long it's going to take them to make the next game, you know what I mean? Because I would say, yes, it would make sense that they would finish it off with Vice City because it's the one that they haven't revisited. But I would also feel a bit miffed if I have to wait, 13 more years or whatever before I get to see them do something else. I'm going to be old by then, Scott, but you do make a very valid point in that.
How dare you, Josh Brown?
I'm sorry. But you do make a very valid point in that, a lot of people buying into GTA now won't have played Vice City, you know what I mean? Like, people will be picking up Grand Theft Auto 5 in 2020 who have never played through San Andreas, never played through Vice City, so to them it would be new, and obviously Rockstar would flesh it out anyway. They would expand on things that were already there, make it much bigger, make it much more detailed. So it's going to ostensibly be a new map, just it's going to have the same name and dabble in the same themes, which, could be all right. I'm kind of talking myself back into it now. I would like it because I would pop for it so much because I love Vice City is my favorite old GTA, but we like to see them try something new, but maybe if it's slotted in with a bunch of other cities, that would be a way to go. I don't know why I'm getting so caught up in it because I'm not going to get to play it for another 4 years or whatever anyway, so.
I know. There was that whole other thing about like it's only in the beginnings of development anyway or whatever, they're in the initial stages, so who even knows? But let us know what you think down in the comments below of the potential inclusion of Mr. David Hayter in a GTA game. Who would you like him to play, and what do you think of the potential of them setting it outside of America and maybe even in Toronto? For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
I've been Josh from WhatCulture.com.
I'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.